Hi everybody, nice to have you here. This weekend I was on this garden market in Vilnius. So every year in May the botanic garden here have this market, and I was very lucky this time. Yes, for many years I've been looking for Goumi, Elagnus multiflora, this one here, Japanese silverbush. So I have Elagnus umbellata, the Korean version. So it grows very well. And I only have one umbellata, and for maximum yield you need a couple of them. Then it gets much better. But it's been a struggle to find them here in Lithuania. So if you have a food forest and you want it to be sustainable, you want it to be rolling by itself, it should run itself. You shouldn't be involved so much, need to work so much in it to keep it going. Then you want special plants like multiflora here. So what's special with this plant? Well, it's drought resistant, and we need it now because we have no rain. 3 weeks now without rain, and I don't see that we're gonna have rain for a couple of weeks. So this is more and more common. So we need these plants that is drought tolerant. The other thing is it gives really nice berries. So what can I say about this? Yes, these have a little bit better and bigger berries than the other silver bushes. They are a little bit smaller. Here we have bigger berries, so it's always nice. And important, it's a nitrogen fixer. So when you plant your tree in the food forest, you want a couple of fruit trees, but they eat a lot. They are hungry. They need a lot of energy from the system. Then we need plants that are like this one, who gives nitrogen and so on to the system. So it's run itself and push out also a little bit extra to the rest of the plants. So that's why this is fantastic. And this time I found 6 of them. So a real hit this time. So now I have 6 new of this Elagnus multiflora that I can put out. So Japanese silver bush in the system. And I want it so you have it between the fruit trees, but you don't want them to be too far away from each other, because then you miss the cross pollination. So you have to think a little bit there. So in the food forest they have another function. They are a block for pests. So what I know about, they are pest resistant to almost everything. I have not heard any pest that attacks this, so there's no problem with these plants. So it's really great. But it should also be a block. So if you have a apple or a pear or plum or something, and then you have this one between, and then you have the other fruit trees, the insects don't jump from one tree to another so easy. So it likes blocks, and they don't really like this kind of trees or bushes, so they avoid it. And of course in the food forest it also works as a bee plant. Has a lot of flowers now this year, and the bees are flocking there and having a great time. So this was my first success. Elagnus multiflora, 6 of them. The other one here, Mespilus germanicus, Medlar. What is that? Well, Medlar is an old fruit tree. So Medlar, also the fruit is called Medlar. So you had it before apple became dominant. So there was, in the old time, but many different kind of trees like quince and medlar and rowan and so on, who was like the apple, but somehow a little bit more complicated. And then when the apple came, it becomes the dominant fruit tree, and everybody wants to work with apple instead. So nowadays you don't see these trees so much. They are not so popular, but for me it's really interesting to find and have these traditional fruit trees. So I also got 2 of these. So I now have 2 medlar that I will plant in. So the best with medlar, or this fruit, is that it ripens after the frost. So you should let the frost come and you wait a week, and then you take them in. So that makes it a winter crop. You have it and can have it for in winter time, but of course they don't store well, so you have to do something well with it or eat it. And I only have 2 small trees, so I will probably eat it in the future. Yes, not now. So 2 of these, 2 medlars and 6 Japanese silverbush. Really nice to be putting into the food forest. And now I have to sit down and plan where to put them and how they will function together with all the other trees. Yes. This is one of the most nice things. And I know a lot about many trees, fruit trees and so on, what exist and so on, but I really hope, like medlar and so on, I will find in the future more trees that I actually don't know exist that we can grow here. And how can I do that? Don't we know of all the fruit trees that exist in the world? Yes, some experts know, but I was talking with people on the market, and they say, well, here we have special tree, but in the west of Europe and so on, but in Kazakhstan and Pakistan and Uzbekistan and up in the mountains of Ukraine and so on, there are a lot of different kind of fruit trees that we don't know so much about. And when the war is over, we can go there and find these, and because there are people there who grow these and know a lot about it, but not right now, but after the war we can go there and find out more about this tree. Yes, such an interesting world. Have a nice evening.